Hi, welcome to my channel, Crafty Come Lately. I'm going to share with you my now basically finished planner that I've made myself using mostly free stuff. The only thing that costs money is the $1.50 Daiso notebook binder. It's a 2-ring binder and it's almost 9 inches long by 6 inches wide, and A5 is the official size, I guess. And I mean, of course, if you make your own, you can do whatever, use anything you have. Um, I've had in the past ring binders for my address book, so like this one is even smaller than that. And if you have something like that that has made it through many years of torture, you could just rebind it. You could, do the scrapbook paper cover or even gift wrap paper or whatever it takes to cover this up. This is a fake leather one, so it would be a little bit harder to cover, but if it made it through, mine didn't because it came apart, but if yours survived, then you can use something like that. And if it's a binder, you can take things out. You can take the whole address book out and put things back in. This one actually happens to have already the divider, so you can keep that like that, but just recover the binder little headings. So as long as you have something to start with. If you don't, and you want to invest in something, I didn't see anything cheap out there for binders or planners, just the cover of it. But I mean, if you're going to use it for several years, I mean, I don't even see a reason why it shouldn't last 10 years. So that would be your investment. But it's also, you can change it and add everything you want and take out anything you don't need. The free printables is a great way to try out something, and then if you decide, no, I'm not going to keep track of my mileage, and if you don't have a business you have to keep that for, then that might be something you scrap, or menu planning or lists to do, or whatever it is that many planners come with, and you can say that's too tedious for me, or I have never used it, I don't like it. Then yeah, you can just scrap it for next year. So most of my printables, they're all free, came from scatteredsquirrel.com. She has, I assume it's a she has everything. I've only, I think, used 3 or 4 of the printouts, meaning the formats, the daily to-do list, her yearly calendar, and one shot at a glance, her monthly, and it's divided into 2. It prints out an 8.5 by 11 sheet, and I just cut it, literally cut with scissors and pasted, not the cut and paste of the computer days, into just 65-pound cardstock. And I've also used, let's see, I'm going to skip into the contact sheet, and that is all that I've used, I think. Yeah. I may add something later. She has tons of cool stuff, but I think I'm going to start there and see where I go. The weekly ones, I could have used her. She has beautiful weekly ones as well, but I wound up getting this from vintageglam.com, and it came with little tabs. Let's see, it looked like this. I used 2 of them, but they're like journaling. They called it Vintage Writing 1, Journaling Elements. That's how I originally found it. I probably Googled something like writing tabs, journals, tags. I don't know what I Googled, but I've had it for a long time. It looks like it's been used and abused, but it's this portion, and I wound up screenshot this section. It's such high resolution that it was able to maintain itself. I then saved it in Paint. Well, I copied it into Paint, saved it, then I flipped it 90 degrees, revolution, rotated, whatever, and then I put it into a Word document and printed 2 per sheet, and then it looked like that on the 8.5 by 11. And then I cut it and put each one on its sheet like that. Since I'm not intending to do every week in this much detail, I'm just going to write week ending and maybe the beginning and the ending dates or whatever of the weeks I happen to go into details. But I don't think I will use that often, so I didn't print that many. But I went with all black and white because the printing is a lot cheaper. Mine happened to be free. I use my local library. I get to print 75 sheets black and white per week, or if I did in color, I only would have had 25. So that's the reason I went with black and white. And also I like it. It's nice and clean. If I wanted something to highlight and bounce, it will look really good against the black and white. For example, on the Valentine's Day, Where is that? Which is February, of course. Where did that go? You know, just putting a little heart on Valentine's Day made it really pop. So that's another cool reason for black and white. And also because this printable wasn't the color that I necessarily would have chosen. They're beautiful colors, but by printing it black and white, it's exactly what I want. So that's another good reason. I didn't have to Photoshop or convert any of the colors myself. Not that I know how to do that. But so that is it. So all you need is some printable from somewhere. You can also Google and find other things yourself. Free, I would Google something like free planner, downloadables, whatever, data 2015, whatever you need. You can, you know, Google something and find the specific things you're looking for. So like I mentioned, I use a ring binder. You may or may not need dividers. You can use the divider that it came with if you get lucky and you find an A5 ring binder, and copy it or cover it. You can use one as a template and make others from cardstock, and or cover it with or make it out of scrapbook paper, or make it out of cardstock and cover it from scrapbook paper. If you have, like my paper here was thick enough, so it's just one scrapbook sheet right here, has like felt all over and did the mask. It's really, really cool. This one I think was cardstock covered in the 2 sheets. On each side is a different sheet. Same with this one. This is cardstock covered in 2 sheets, all black and white. On the front and the very back, this is a thick acetate or transparency sheet, whatever they call it, but it's the one that comes with project books that you get professional, all cinched or binded or zuttered or whatever you call them. I have the leftover somewhere, and I was going to demonstrate if I could find it, but maybe it's out of sight. And this is the back of that report cover. Very thick, very plasticky and durable, so I thought that would protect my bundle once I get thick enough. So if you have something that protects your bundle, you may just be able to use your sheets as they come. Since I went to the library, I couldn't do double-sided or anything like that, but technically if you get these kinds of sheets, you could just fold them into 2 if you have them spaced correctly, and just you know, make the 2 holes right there. So, but I guess you can experiment, especially if you get free printing at the library like I did. So basically these are the cardstocks that I'm going to use for the rest of it. I use black and white. That will carry some of the remainder. I use reinforcers that I got from the dollar store, and I just stamped it with some black ink stays on, and the image is just my background script from Crafty Individuals, which I love. Really cool stamp. So it just gives a little bounce both on the black and on the white sheets. So it's pretty cool. This is the white sheets. And then I've had an Excel, I have an Excel spreadsheet for all my cell phone numbers. So I printed them out back here. And this will be for any numbers I need to add last minute, if they want to give me email and address too. Obviously, if I have just a cell phone number, I'll put it into my cell phone. The only other things you may want or need is some stickers. I happen to have some that came with some calendar from the Humane Society, I guess. And I have some holiday stickers that I'll stick on the appropriate holiday. And, oh, and for the tabs, like I started to say and I wandered off, yeah, either use your template divider that came with your binder, or, let's see, you can use this is a printable, free printable from Ephemera Vintage Garden. It's called Terrific Tabs. It's, I'm sure from long ago. I went back and I looked at all her freebies. And so this came actually in color, but I printed it in black and white. So you could use those as tabs and just have the black or the white or whatever color cardstock and just add the tab wherever you want it. Or you can just make a simple third cut, like a squarish, or you can try to make it more fancy, like a little squishy, swirly, whatever they call it. Or you can even use a regular manila envelope, 8.5 by 11, and kind of copy the curve that comes around, but you'll make your own measurement. Like this is more 4 inches, but you'll make maybe a 2.5 inch, do the little roundabout for the beginning and for the end. So it's very easy to duplicate. Here's that. And this is the original sheet that oh, this is a different one. This is another one that came free printables, and it has the little whatchamacallit, the little file tabs. So those are the ideas, and I think that is all I wanted to share. I'll put the links for the 2 places I got the printables. And if you have any questions or comments, please leave them below. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up. And if you haven't subscribed, please do so. Thank you so much. Bye.